All right, today is our Climbing the Ladder team call. It's August 1st, and I'm so excited to see you all. I know everybody's kind of in a summit hangover, but Lauren and I chatted and decided to go ahead with the call anyways because we do not want to lose momentum. We want to keep you guys going, and I know your heads are probably spinning for those that were at Summit, but it's a good spin. And so tonight we're going to recap Summit. Lauren's going to start. She's going to go over some of the announcements that we had at Summit, some things that you need to take away that are pretty cool. And then I'm going to talk about what to do now that your head is like totally full. Excuse me. And you probably have a notebook full of notes and not letting that overwhelm you, but sorry, what to do with all that information. And then we're going to hear from Jenny Hobbs. I don't know what I swallowed. Sorry about that. And she's going to talk about time management. So, Lauren, why don't you go ahead and kick us off, girl?
Sorry, I was muted. All right, so thank you guys for jumping on. I know that you guys are all, like Tanya said, in a summit hangover, have that fire in you, and we're going to help you kind of go over that tonight. But what I wanted to do was just for those of you who are in here that maybe weren't at Summit, just kind of, you can't hear very well. Hold on. Is that better? Okay. Sorry, my computer is sitting on my case. What I wanted to do was just kind of run over real quick what was announced as far as programs go, and things that we have coming up here really soon. So I'm going to start off with the things that are first and foremost right now that you need to worry about is as soon as you guys get off this call tonight, if you have not registered your team cup, they extended it one more that you are on a team cup team, or that you're putting one together and you're getting yourself on one tonight. You can go and you can register for that in the back office under events and just type in Team Cups and it'll come up. Or they send out an email about it to remind everybody. So just click on the link that's in your email. The next thing is that on this Saturday, there's Super Saturday. And it's really, really important that you guys get yourself to Super Saturday so that you can just kind of, you know, they're going to be going over, I'm sure, a lot of the things that were covered at Summit, but it's a really great chance for you to reconnect, kind of like the girl said at the airport, to reconnect with people that were there and hear just kind of other people's takes on things that they learned and kind of help yourself to put things into action a little bit more. Plus, it's just awesome to go to events. But those are the two things. Then coming up next in the month of August, we have the health bet. So this is something that I feel like we could probably do a whole nother call on because it's going to be more in depth of how to make it work. But basically, the health bet is going to be a challenge that is going to be run by Beachbody, but it's actually, we're doing it, but it's through the Challenge Tracker app. And people have a chance to win a piece of $1 million. And Beachbody is actually matching the money that is being is that right, Tanya? Something like that. They're matching money that's being submitted by people up to $3 million. So they say $1 million, but technically people have a chance to win a part of $3 million simply by logging their Shakeology and their workouts. Like, come on. That's awesome. And everybody wants to win something, right? I mean, people will work for $20, $50, and if they have a chance to win anything like that or even a little bit more, that's pretty incredible. So it's something that we as coaches definitely need to be talking about, getting people involved, setting up the challenge groups through the Challenge Tracker app and getting our challengers excited about that and plugged in and using it, logging their workouts and things. So there's more information on that. There's an FAQ and we can post that into the group. What is 1 million from Beachbody? Yeah. So we can post the FAQ for it, but if you just go into your FAQs and type health bet, it will come up. There's some great slides as well that I can share that I like clicked and took pictures of. So that will be helpful to remind you guys. The next thing is going to be Summit 2017. The hotel links opened up today for that, and I hear that there's been quite a bit of trouble with people getting booted off and not being able to book your hotels. But hotel rooms go really fast, and I wanted to let you guys know, do not freak out if you don't get a hotel room today. I didn't get my hotel room for Summit this year until last month, and it was way cheaper than it was like a year prior. So don't freak out. Just keep trying, and things will open up. And you don't have to go through Beachbody to do it. Beachbody does give some great rates, but you can go through some of those hotel, finder websites and pull things up, and you're able to get some pretty great rates through there too. So just do your research, find a great hotel that's close, and try and get yourself a room. And you can always just kind of hold one down, and then later as it gets closer, you can always move it if you need to, but at least you have one to be safe. Next is Country Heat. Country Heat is out. It's officially, up and running. A lot of people are starting it today. So a lot of the top challenge packs are going to be on sale this month, and Country Heat is one of them. So there's a lot of hype surrounding it. Just use live video, maybe do a live video of yourself dancing to it or something like that. Just try and help spread the word, let people know about it. If it's not your thing, you guys, I don't know how Tanya feels about it, but for me, I always tell my coaches, you do not have to always push the challenge pack that is on sale if it's not your wheelhouse, because it's going to look really funny if you're trying to, push it, and you're like a master's hammer and chisel kind of a girl. So I did it. I was like, hey, I do love to dance. I love line dancing. I had this free sneak peek. I'm going to give it a try. And I videotaped myself doing it. I talked about how it was a lot of fun and it was great. And now I know what it's like, so that I could have that experience of doing that workout to share with my customers that maybe it is their wheelhouse, but it is on sale. It's a great program to get started with. We have tons of great transformation stories for it. Be sharing those. Ask for testimonials from your customers. Be looking for testimonials all the time, and just start sharing those stories and letting people know. The Beachbody Challenge winners were announced, and those stories were unreal, you guys. And one of them in particular, it is my wheelhouse for those of you guys that didn't get to meet me, and I didn't get to meet you. And if you don't know, I am fitness is my thing. I compete, and I did the Beachbody Challenge this year. And one of the girls that was up there, I think she's the one that won, right? She was a bikini competitor, and she started off not looking like a bikini competitor. And I hear people say that all the time. Oh my gosh, I could never do that. I could never become a bikini competitor. But now I have her story to talk about and to share how she won and was a finalist. So find somebody that kind of relates to you and to the people that you are talking to and trying to make a part of your team, or they're your niche market, and share those stories. And Beachbody has tons of them that you can share, so do that. Next one is the Fix8 Cooking Show. I'm really excited about this. Now, my first initial thought was I'm not going to log on to Beachbody On Demand to watch a television show about cooking, because I don't have time to do that. But I think that it's going to be really amazing, and I think that it's going to really help out a lot of our customers, as well as give us another reason for us to try and get our customers to stay as the in the club membership. And if they say the same thing, and that's their thought as well, as, hey, I'm not going to log onto the computer to do that, what they are going to offer is PDFs of all of the recipes that are being made in this show. So you can use these PDFs in your challenge groups. You can use them to help make meal plans. You can share them with your customers. I know I will probably be printing out a ton of them and using those recipes, and then taking pictures of the stuff I'm making and sharing it on social media too, to talk about how this came from this TV show. So the Fix8 show is done by Autumn and her brother, and her brother is a professional chef, and he was able to create a ton of really great recipes all within the Portion Fix program. So that's really exciting. And then we have the 3-week yoga retreat, and that one is actually free to anybody who has Beachbody On Demand. So I know if you guys have yoga following, or if you have people that are really interested in yoga, they want to try it. Maybe they're afraid to go to a studio and try it because they feel like they're not flexible, or they're, they just want to try something different. They have someone on there who is I think she worked for Beachbody before, right? I think that's what they were saying. But she is a yoga instructor, and it's a 3-week program just to help people kind of do something. It's just an added thing to our library. That's another great reason to get people onto Beachbody On Demand. It looked like a lot of fun too. It looked kind of cool. And then we have Core to Force, which is, I'm excited about that. I was able to do that hold on, excuse me. Okay, good job. Thank you. Okay, I'm talking on a call right now. He's over there. Thank you. Sorry, guys. He got a Rubik's Cube, and he's excited because he's figuring it out. But anyway, Core to Force. I did Core to Force on Friday morning. Well, it wasn't Core to Force, but it was parts of it and, sections kind of pieced together here and there. But I was able to experience it with Joel and Jericho, and it literally kicked my butt. It was so tough, and my legs were on fire. I was burning. My stomach was burning. It was great. And they just have so much energy. They are great trainers. If you liked combat, it's going to be, I feel like, very similar to that. But it's definitely a good butt kicking, and it's a short program, right? I think it was a shorter 30-day, core workout to get you chiseled kind of a thing. So we just have so much coming out that is going to add to our library, add to our arsenal of things that we can offer our customers. But the key is, you guys, is listening, asking questions, talking to the people about what their goals are. What do they like to do? Because you don't want to be offering somebody a program that we think is amazing, because it probably is, if you don't want them doing Core to Force if they absolutely hate cardio. You don't want them doing Master Hammer and Chisel if they absolutely hate weights. And so you really have to listen, and you have to pull these things out of them to get them started and working on a program that is going to be their soulmate workout, that they love and will always go back to and are going to get great results with, and they're going to spread the word, and hopefully people are going to be asking them what they're doing, and then they're going to want to become coaches too. So let's focus on that. Core to Force is not coming out until later in the year, but those are all of our big announcements that we have. We have one more that's really huge, and that is that the Coach Online Office is going mobile. They've created an app for us that we can use, and it's not going to be open to everyone right away, but I believe that this month they're going to allow the Premier and Elite coaches to test it out, give it a try, and just kind of fine-tune it before they release it to all of the coaches. But how key is that? Because I know so many times I'm out and I want to check something in my back office, and you got to log on to your Chrome or Safari app and actually go through, and it's a pain in the butt. So I'm really excited about having everything right there at my fingertips, being able to access my coaches, access their information, see my successful points, see my customers, and be able to have it all right there. So I think that's it for programs and stuff.
That is awesome. Real quick, I saw Lindsay typed in that for the yoga, she typed on here, they wanted it to set the foundation for people that might be super intimidated by yoga series to be able to have a 3-week foundational understanding of yoga, so they'll feel confident to go into any studio and work out or do other yoga programs. And they said the cues called from the 3 trainers are spot on and so easy to follow that a blind person can complete it. So that's really cool. Because that means that, we have something for everybody, which is exciting. So there's thank you for sharing that, Lindsay. And then thanks, Lauren. That's awesome. We have so many good announcements. I hope that you wrote those down. And I would encourage you all to go to your online office and read, in the breaking news section, get yourself familiar with those. And just, put your takeaways away, because otherwise, don't let it overwhelm you. This is all really good stuff. I'm going to talk briefly before we bring Jenny on about what to do now that you're home from Summit. So Summit is like going to Disneyland. it's amazing. But you get home and you're like, that was really cool. And then you kind of go, you kind of lose some of your momentum sometimes. And other times you might just crash after Summit. So what I suggest doing, if you have not done this already, is do a brain dump on a piece of paper. So take a piece of paper. Do not overthink this. Write down all the things that are spinning through your head right now. They don't have to be organized. Just write them all down. And just, take like 10 to 15 minutes. Don't take hours. Just all the things that are swirling around in your head. And then what I want you to do is highlight like your top 3. What are like your top 3 takeaways? Because you can't change your entire everything in your business all the time. You're always going to hear really, really good information, but you want to make sure that you're not just doing like a complete, overhaul and changing things that are already working for you. So if there's something that's not working, those are typically the things that you want to work on. So like if you're struggling with recruiting and you heard a really good recruiting program, that might be good for you. But I encourage you not to change things that are already working. So do a brain dump on your notepad, highlight your top 3, and then work on those top 3. And then when you are really good at those, then you can add more of your list. I always have like a running list of things and ideas, but I only take on 2 to 3 at a time. If I do more than that, it's overwhelming, it's confusing, and I can't do it all very well. So just really focus on 3 things. I also would encourage you, I know that I've heard from a lot of you that you really have a vision for your business and you've got a why. I know some of my people were telling me that they've got their why as like, it's huge and it's solid now. I would encourage you to write out your why and your vision and message those to your upline and let them know, hey, this is what my why looks like right now. This is my vision. Because I know for me personally, like, for example, it was ironic that we have this call today and we just got back from Summit because in my memories on Facebook, it popped up the announcement that my coach did because on August 1st in 2013, I advanced to 2-star diamond. So, we've got somebody unmuted. Hang on here. I'm going to mute. What happened here? Sorry about that. So that was 3 years ago today that I advanced to 2-star. And 2-star was a huge milestone for me. And I'll tell you that it really came out of Summit. I went to Summit that year in 2013. I was sitting in the audience. I was a shaky 1-star. I wasn't really sure where I was going. I didn't really have a vision. I didn't really have a why. And I was listening to Carl Deichler, and he just was talking about how anybody can do this as long as you believe. And just, to go for it. And right then and there was where I totally had like my aha moment. Team 360, the name came out of that, which is the name of my team. Everything changed, and I came home and I made a plan. And I went 2-star, and then I went 5-star within 6 weeks. So I went from 1 to 5-star within 6 weeks. Was sitting at 35 elite points, and I hit elite. I got the $500 bonus, like all that good stuff. That came from Summit. That came with coming home and not wasting what I learned. And so that's what I would encourage you to do. If you are not at Summit, I would encourage you I hope you watched the live stream. If you didn't, I know that they're going to have, I believe, a lot of recordings, and I would encourage you to go through and watch those. There's also a lot of really good information. People put up a lot of videos on YouTube from Summit, so I would go search those out too so you can hear some of the speakers and just, listen to that. Like, I know Shanti's speech is up on there right now on YouTube, and if you haven't heard that, you really... it's pretty incredible. There was a lot of good stuff, but the recordings, I know they'll have the recordings from the workshop and stuff up, so that'll be awesome. So make sure that you don't waste your experience, and you go through and you brain dump, take 2 to 3 things and work on those, and let your upline know what you're doing and what your why and your vision is, so that they can help support you. Because if we don't know how to support you, then we can't help you. So that's what I would do with the Summit experience. Don't overcomplicate it. Don't feel like you have to retype your notes or rewrite your notes unless you have extra time to do that. Get to work. Put what you've learned, into action. Now what I want to do is we have a speaker for you. Her name is Jenny Hobbs, and she had a valid excuse for not being at Summit. I will say that she tried, but her baby, she actually just gave birth to her second baby, who was due is not even due yet. She was due August 11th, and she had her early. So Jenny is a 2-star diamond on my team. She's a team leader. She has 2 kids, Charlie, who's 2, and then she just had baby Nora 2 weeks ago. Is that right, Jenny?
Yeah.
Yeah, she's had a baby 2 weeks ago. Baby Nora was early, and she's absolutely adorable. Jenny has built a very successful business while being a full-time doctor and a mom, and she's built her business through 2 pregnancies. So this girl has amazing time management skills. She's effective, and for all those people that say they don't have time, after you hear Jenny, you do have time, because she literally does not have much time, but what she is she's very efficient and very good. She's a great leader. She has a great team. You can ask any of her team members. I was at Summit with them. They all adore her, and so do I. So Jenny, take it away.
Okay, thanks. So I feel like I've been talking in this group a lot because I just did some videos this week too. So I guess I'll say a few things about Tanya asked me to talk about time management with a full-time job. So I can definitely touch on a few of the big things that I do with that. But then also if you guys have questions or maybe some of your time management struggles you can ask about. So it's just not me rambling again. I have a very long video I did this last week, so you guys can also listen to that. But anyway, yeah, so as Tanya was saying, my job has been, basically I work 12-hour days, 7 days in a row, and then I do get a week off after that. And that's the job that I've been working since I became a coach. And I actually have been a coach since 2013. And I was an Emerald coach for something like 2 years before I hit Diamond. And so, for me, it was really like at the beginning, I just looked at it as a hobby. And I posted about this a little bit this week, but you can see in my income, sort of when I made the switch from being a hobby coach to actually saying I could actually do something with this. And I actually made some non-negotiables for my business. So even though I had a very busy schedule, I decided there were a few things that I was going to make the time for because they were important. And as soon as I did that is when I saw my business start to grow. And so just a couple of the things that sort of changed. So the first thing that I would encourage anyone to do, especially if you're juggling with another job, is to make sure that you really understand your why. And you really need to tap in, just like with fitness, when we ask people their why for losing weight, we want them to make it personal. You really need to find a personal why for why you want this business to work. And if you don't have that, I'm just going to be honest. I think it's a Tony Robbins thing or something, but the thing that makes you successful is either typically desperation or inspiration. And if you have a decent job, most of the time you're not really that desperate, right? So you're not like in my case, I wasn't really desperate for the income. And so you have to find some inspiration that's very personal. So, which is why going to Summit and things like that is really important. So I went to Summit in 2014, and I heard people who were lawyers and other working moms who were able to stay home with their kids and had been able to replace a really significant income, and how much that meant to their kids and their family to have that freedom of time. And so for me, I had to really tap into that vision of a freedom of time that I hadn't had before, if that makes sense. So So when you're thinking about time management, it actually starts from the beginning of saying, okay, like what is this worth to me? And what is my inspiration or my desperation that's going to make me make it a non-negotiable to make this business work. And it kind of all starts from there, because if you don't have that, then when push comes to shove, you're not going to take the time to do the activities when you're tired and you've been, you know, and I'm not the only one that has a crazy schedule, you know, like I know Amanda Noddings has a crazy schedule too. I mean, many of us are gone for 12, 13 hours a day, and then you see your kids and then you're exhausted, right? So there has to be something bigger than you that makes you want to spend an extra hour or two working on the business. So that's the first thing. The second thing for me was just prioritizing. And I don't know if any of you guys are like me. I'm a huge perfectionist. And so I tend to not want to do things unless they're perfect and they're done right. And I tend to sort of hem and haw and think about the best way to organize everything. And so something that I had to learn to do, and I think this was maybe like from different personal development, including like Darren Hardy, but the thing is that done is better than perfect always, and especially when you're building a business. And well, my other favorite thing is perfect. The perfect is the enemy of the good, right? So you've got to just get it done. Oh yeah, hi, this is Nora. She's sleepy. But you got to just get it done. And in 9 times out of 10, like getting it done and out there imperfectly is going to get you a lot further in life than sitting around trying to make it perfect. And frankly, the 2 people that are going to notice that something's not perfect, you don't care what they think anyway, because they're probably negative and they probably have too much time in their hands to be sitting around criticizing what you're posting. So, and I mean, I'm a huge perfectionist. I work so hard. I can, and I will tell you, I looked around and I was like, oh, these people that are way less perfect than me are making a lot more money than me. So obviously, like, my perfectionism is not really getting me that far. So not that you don't want to do a good job and be awesome, but at the same time, most of the time, it's better to just get it done. And so the best example of this that my poor team hears me say all the time is at the beginning of the month, you really don't have time to do anything except for inviting. So until you have your Success Club locked in, you have no business trying to do anything to perfect any of your systems. And I think this is like the biggest thing I see is people are like, well, but I'm just not sure, like if I'm reaching everyone or if I'm connecting with everybody or if I'm catching everyone's emails and that's really hard for me too. But the thing is like, if you're not feeling a little bit like things are moving more quickly than you can keep up with, you're probably not growing your business as fast as you could be. And people, not that you want to be sloppy or, inconsistent or unreliable, but if you're trying to do everything perfectly and taking your time at the beginning of the month thinking about all these systems, you're probably leaving business on the table and you're probably slowing down your growth, if that makes sense. So that's something I just had to let go of. And so I literally would put blinders on to all the things I could see. Tanya's idea of like a brain dump is that's what I do. I brain dump it all down on a piece of paper so I know I'm not going to forget all the things I want to get better. And then I would just focus on hitting my Success Club goal for the month with blinders on. And this is what I did for basically like a year of building my business from Emerald to Diamond and then to 2-star Diamond was beginning of the month, I did nothing else until I got my Success Club 10. And I made that my goal. And then in whatever time I had left after doing that, in that month, I would do things to make my systems better. So I slowly over time improved my challenge group posts and saved them all. I slowly over time got my management of my emails better. I slowly over time, got my power hour more organized. But those things are still not perfect. There's still all these things I want to do. But if I had gotten them all perfect at the beginning, then I wouldn't have grown my business as quickly because I wouldn't have hit Success Club each month. So that's kind of like the biggest thing is you really have to just put blinders on. And I have people calling me all the time saying like, well, I'm thinking about, I want to do this thing and that thing. And those are all kind of like shiny objects that are distracting you from the really boring work, which is what actually makes this business grow, which is just inviting people and posting on social media and following up with them and getting them in your group. Like if you can do that much, like your business will grow regardless of the rest. So that's my big thing. Do not skimp on your power of 3, your power hour, your inviting, and leave the rest till the end of the month and be okay doing things in small pieces of time that aren't perfect. Just a couple sort of practical ways that I kind of make my time work better for me. One is by working on teams. So when I first started, Leanna and I did this. We started running our challenge groups together because we were both working. And I highly recommend finding people, whether they're in your downline or, in your larger team, to partner with for groups so that you guys can work together on ideas and posts. And now it's nice because I have my team to work with. And so a lot of them have jobs. And so they don't have to stress about posting every single day in a brand new group because we work together as a team. And it's more fun too. Also save everything. So every time you do a social media post or a challenge group post, just copy paste it to Evernote or to your notes program that you like. Even if it's not that organized, again, back to not being perfect, if you have it there, you can always find it later and you can repost things. And people have a short memory in social media and also in groups, frankly. So like you can use things over and over and you don't have to keep reinventing the wheel. So that's just like a quick tips there. I also use Buffer. Some people use Hootsuite. So if you have a job like I do, it's very stressful when you're at work to try to remember when you need to post in your groups and post all these things. And so I just schedule my posts out for the week on Buffer. So I know even if I get busy in the hospital, like my challenge groups are getting some input from me every day. And that's a huge time saver that makes a huge difference when you're working. At least for me, I used to feel very scattered and stressed out at work. Like I didn't know what I was forgetting to do. So that really helped me a lot. And then, so someone wanted a little more info on Buffer. Yeah, so Buffer is great. I forget the difference between the free and the paid version. I do have a paid version, but I think if you're just running one group, you might be able to do it for free. They have a view that's actually a calendar view, so you can literally like click on each day of the calendar. Yeah, I think that's the same one I have, Tanya. I think it's $10 a month, which for me, again, if you're working, like $10 a month for the peace of mind not to have to post while you're at work is pretty worth it. But yeah, so Lindsay, I basically schedule them out. So I just click on like whatever time, and you can actually tell it like what times you want. So I'll just pick a time like 7:30 and 4:30 or whatever. In my standard groups, I have 2 posts a day. And then you can also add extra ones in between there, but you just click on it, you put in your text, you upload an image, and then it posts. So Aubrey, I have done some groups using the challenge group app, which allows you to schedule your posts as well. So if you like to do that, I have the challenge group app and we have some groups running in there. I personally get a little bit less interaction there so far. And I myself am not in there as often as I am on Facebook. So I don't use Buffer for my page posts. I use it for my groups only. I believe things like Buffer and Hootsuite, the Facebook algorithm knows that you're posting from one of those third-party sites, and so they don't get as much traction unless that's changed. But the cool thing is if you have a business page or a like page, you can schedule posts on there, and it won't be the same. First of all, it doesn't cost money. It's directly through Facebook. And secondly, I don't think it does affect the algorithm if you schedule them on your like page. So that's another thing I do is I schedule my like page posts out ahead of time. But my personal page posts, and this kind of actually gets into a little bit of how I prioritize. So the Buffer is pretty simple to do. So I get my challenge groups all lined up with that on a day off of work, so I don't have to worry about that, right? And then I get my like page posts going, and then I schedule time for my Power of 3. And then, so the things I have to do on the fly then are pretty minimal. I try to do a real life post, at least once or twice a day on my regular page. And my focus there is just being myself. And I honestly think that's a big part of what has built my business is I'll post like my oatmeal and strawberries in the hospital cafeteria and be like, this is what I had for breakfast today. Like I love my oatmeal and I forgot to bring it to work, so here it is, right? Or like one day I posted all this fruit I bought and how it cost me like $6. And so I was like, oh my gosh, like this is so expensive. Like I wish I had remembered to bring, my healthy food from home, or, you can talk about Shakeology, right? In that case, it's cheaper than the huge thing of fruit that you just bought. So I try to keep it very, very real and like real time because I know that my target group is people like me, right? It's busy moms. A lot of them are in healthcare. And so like, that's what they are going to want to see. And so I really try to keep that very real. Or like, if it's, my first day on service and my day is totally overwhelming me and I feel super stressed out that I don't know what to post, I'll literally like go to Pinterest and Google like stress quotes Monday, and I'll find like a image that looks good to me, and I'll just save it to my phone, my camera roll, and I'll post it on Facebook and be like, you know, oh my gosh, like 20 patients and this patient's already crashing. Like, how will I ever make it through today? And, you know, just like that. Or one time I found some quote that was like, the time to relax is when you don't have time for it. And so I just used word swag and put that on a picture of me doing whatever I was doing that day. And I was like, okay, I'm going to make myself relax even though I don't have time because I'm super stressed out, you know? So, you know, I try to give credit when I grab those things, but I try to keep those things very real time. And then that's easy for me to do. If I have all the other stuff done, I can do that pretty quickly on a given day. And then usually in the evening, about, you know, once or twice a week, I'll kind of spend some time. I'll give my son, well, now my 2 kids, to my husband and like draft a pretty good post that's like more of a call to action. You know, in a perfect world, I would do that on my day off, so I wouldn't have to do it at the last minute after work, but that seems to never happen. And so for me, I try to just keep, when in doubt, I just keep my social media really personal and laid back. And I've been listening to some podcasts recently about sort of how people in network marketing use social media. And I was kind of thinking, without realizing that, I think that's part of what has helped me to recruit, is because people just feel like they like know me, like I'm their friend. And so when I do go and invite them, or I do a call to action, they feel like, you know, people say things to me like, someone I never ever met before, or met through my like page, was like, Charlie's going to be such a great big brother. And I was like, that's so weird, because like they don't know Charlie at all. But like that tells you that like they feel like they know Charlie, right? And that's those things are easy to do no matter how busy you are. You're just sharing your life, right? So I think like if you do a really good job of being yourself, and I know they talked about this at Summit, being vulnerable, talking about what stresses you out, talking about, you know, your family, all these things that engage, then you can just take a little time, a couple times, once or twice a week, and do a really good call to action. And then people will still be drawn to it because you haven't been hitting them over the head with it all week. They've been seeing you more as a person. And so I'm not a social media expert by any means, but I think like inadvertently, just because that's all I had time to do really was to be myself. Like, I think that actually I've had people tell me they chose to work with me as a coach because they liked that they didn't feel like my social media was like really annoying and overbearing. So anyway, that is, so how often do I do call to action posts? Personally, honestly, I don't think I'm the poster child for this. Like if you hear what like people like Melanie Mitro does or do, like they do a lot more than I do, honestly. And they also recruit like probably like 20 coaches a month. So I wouldn't say that I have like the perfect answer, but what I do is I really try to only do a call to action once a week or twice a week. And like if I'm desperate at the end of the month, I sometimes do more reminders about my groups, but I try to avoid that. I try to do just one like on a Thursday night at like 8:30 p.m. or something like that, and then maybe a follow-up on the weekend, like, hey, you know, that kind of thing. And then honestly, when in doubt, I just do a personal one because like I don't have to stress about them, and I know people like them, and it keeps people interacting with me. So what else was I going to say? So that's kind of how I structure my time. If you take like a busy week, that hour or two that I spend on my business is really, you know, checking into my challenge groups, doing my workout, drinking my shake, and then my power hour of invites, which a lot of times I stack like a bunch of them on one day, so I don't have to do them every single night. And then I do a real life post on my personal page. And then a lot of times I try to do something on my personal page that I can also put in my challenge groups in real time. So like my food, you know. And honestly, like I've been pregnant, I haven't been working out very much. So like it'll be like my dinner that my husband makes that's like healthy. I'll just take a picture of that and just share it on my personal page and my like page and my challenge groups. And again, I save all those pictures so that then I can use them again later. And I just took some of those that I had done in the past and turned them into challenge group posts that I post every month with recipes for my team. So reusing things, working smarter, not harder is kind of the key. Let's see. So those are, I mean, I could probably just ramble on. I feel like I ramble a lot. So do you guys have it's nice to have questions. If you guys have other questions, or Tanya, is there anything that I didn't cover?
I think you did awesome. I think it just, goes to show that like also you know, it's just about being efficient. It's the slight edge principle that Jenny's saying, because everybody's busy and it's just finding those little chunks of time. And I know Jenny does a lot of voice messages. Like she'll have a list of followers and then follow-ups, and then she'll just voice text them all.
Oh yeah, maybe I'll say quickly about that. So I use my commute. If you work, you should use your commute. There's like no excuse. That's like free time. So I drive 30 minutes each way. So that's your personal development. You can listen to so much personal development in that time. And then what Tanya said is true. I do Facebook voice messaging on the personal messages, like awesome. So literally one night I remember I had a coach sneak peek that I had done, and I literally just like went down the list of people in my coach sneak peek and clicked on their thing and message, and I just like voice texted them. I was like, hey, just wanted to see what you thought about the sneak peek. You know, my group is starting next week, blah, blah, blah. And so like by the time I got home, I had done all my follow-ups and my coach invites for the whole week. And then I didn't have to worry about doing it, you know, trying to figure out when to do it in the evening when my husband wanted my attention. So I'm all about the voice messaging and using your commute all the time for things. I'm sorry, my daughter.
That's awesome. She's so cute. Yes, Lindsay, she does do the voice messages individually on the Facebook Messenger. And you only got 1 minute for those, by the way.
Yeah.
So talk fast.
Yeah.
No, I think that's great. And Jenny, I know, thank you so much for talking tonight. And for, like, guys, last week, if you didn't watch her videos, please watch her videos. This girl knows what she's talking about. And she did those videos as a favor to me so we could keep the group going, and she had a week-old baby. And they're really good. Like Aubrey and some other people said, you know, they were awesome. They are. So go watch her videos, use them as you know, make sure you use those, because they give, she really does give valuable information in there. And like I said, she built her business with 2 pregnancies and working in the hospital as a doctor. So like when she gets to work, she's not sitting in a cubicle. She is, you know, and she's posted pictures of the ambulances like lined up. I'm like, I just send her text. I'm like, good luck. You know, 'cause patients, like, you don't get to pick and choose who is sick. It just, you don't know what your day holds. So, yeah. Oh, the messages are in the ladder group. Yeah, the Climbing the Ladder group. And they were just, Lindsay, I'll make sure you're in there. They just got posted last week. And then I think you just did one yesterday, right?
Yeah, I think one was Tuesday and then one was yesterday.
Thanks for doing that.
Yeah.
All right, you guys. Thank you so much for coming tonight. We so appreciate it. We're really excited. Team Leader is such a big milestone that we are actually going to take 2 weeks to do it. So start checking tomorrow. We're going to have posts going in the group, Climbing the Ladder group. If you're not in there, let your upline know. We will get you in there ASAP. But we're going to be doing that this week and next week, because we really want to get you guys set for success. And it's a great milestone. Don't overcomplicate it. Let's just get you all to it, because it'll be awesome. It'll change your life. So thank you, everyone. I hope you had an amazing time at Summit. And I hope you have a great week. Thank you. Oh, wait. Yeah, Lauren, sorry.
I just wanted to, it's okay. I wanted to make sure that everybody knows that when we're doing these, you know, she was saying that we're going to be doing posts and stuff. All of these videos that you guys are seeing and the posts that you guys are seeing are from people who are actually at that level on the rung. So, you know, you're going to be hearing from a ton of really great coaches who are team leaders this week. And some of them have, you know, taken time out of their day and they know what they're talking about. They've, you know, some of them, I think we even have one who, she's an elite coach, but she's a team leader, but she's amazing. She hits Success Club. She runs a great organization. We have just so much great information, and I want to make sure that you guys all are watching those videos and taking the time out to leave comments and ask questions. They're not very long, you guys. They're short. They're like 5 minutes. Some people I know have gone a little bit longer, but they're supposed to be about 5 minutes long, and that's it. But they're sharing some really great takeaways for you guys. But please ask questions. And, if you catch them live, ask them questions live, because they're going to be there to try and help you guys out. So we're just really excited about it. And yeah, that's it. Make sure you guys are asking us questions too. If there's something that you guys feel like you need or that you want to hear about, please let us know. You can post on the wall. Maybe I'll do that. Tanya, you want me to post a little image that says what can we help you with, and just kind of see what people want to hear. And then as you guys are thinking of things, I can't promise you that we'll cover it, but we can definitely get some good ideas of some topics that we know you guys need to hear, because that's really what the point is of this whole group, is to, help you all and ourselves with things that we need and that we feel like the group needs as a whole. So yeah, I think that's a good idea. I'll do that.
But great idea. Yeah, and no question's a bad question, guys.
Right.
We are here to serve you. So let us do that.
All right, guys. Well, that's all I had. But thanks everybody for tuning in tonight.
Thank you. Have a good night, everyone. Bye-bye.